Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 168 in my brand new Comics Haul series where I show you guys all the new books that I pick up at my LCS every week. Pretty good week of books this time around. I have 6 different issues from Marvel and Image. Before we get into these though, I want to talk about this week's sponsor, Collectionary. Collectionary is a freemium comics app that you can use to sort your comics collection with a bunch of fun features that really come in handy to be able to log your collection as you're getting new issues, as you're looking for things. For example, their for sale page is really helpful, which basically is a tracker for eBay listings of certain issues. Maybe you want a certain variant cover by an artist that you like. You can put that in your Seeker feature in Collectionary and it can look through eBay, scour any new listings that are coming out, and then alert you whenever what you're actually looking for within a certain grade or price range comes up. This week we're also trying something a little bit new, a little bit of an incentive for you guys to get some free comics. If you download the app and log some books in your collection and then send a screenshot of your account page or a view of the app in the App Store, as well as your shipping address, down to the email and the link that I'll leave in the description. Collectionary will send you 5 or more comics as kind of a mystery pack. So if that sounds good to you, if you want some free comics, then try out the app, send some screenshots as proof. And it should be a fun kind of incentive. So definitely download the app, give it a try. Link will be the top one in the description, and let me know what you think of Collectionary. But now let's get on to this week's comic haul. Like I said, I have 6 issues. We'll start it off with Marvel Comics. Pretty big release from them. This is a new miniseries. This one is Spider Society #1. I think this is only going to be 4 issues. It seems like a pretty big launch though, so I'm surprised they're not making it longer. Maybe they're just kind of testing the waters to see what kind of interest there is in like a more ongoing, Spider Society series. This is a little bit based off of the Across the Spider-Verse movie that came out last year now. I think they called it Spider Society in that, right? The Spider-Verse characters that all met in that one universe where, Miguel O'Hara was leading them and everything. So I think that's basically the idea behind this one also. But it looks like it's centered around Miles Morales and a bunch of the other characters that have been established over the last few years with any kind of other Spider-Verse events that we've had leading up to this. There was the end of the Spider-Verse series that happened recently, but since then we've had more like Edge of Spider-Verse miniseries introducing different spider variants. It's definitely an ongoing thing that Marvel is interested in, pushing to readers, and especially with the Beyond the Spider-Verse movie coming out soon. I'm sure it's within their best interest to keep introducing new variants and stuff that might end up appearing in that movie. So we'll see about this one. It definitely looks like a lot of characters to be dealing with all at once. The artwork looks okay. I'm not familiar with the writer. Alex Segura, I think is his name. I've never read anything by him, so I'm interested to see what he does with this. And we'll see about this one. Let me know if you guys are picking up Spider Society down in the comments. I'm not sure exactly what Marvel's trying to do with this series, but we'll see about that one. Next up, I've got the second issue of one of the biggest new ongoing series from Marvel. We've got X-Men #2. This one also includes one of those weapon extraction, Deadpool and Wolverine backup stories that they've been throwing in the back of some of their ongoing titles recently. This one is Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman. I did a full review on that first issue. If you guys are interested in my thoughts on that one, there's a full video on that. I really liked it. I mean, I didn't love it. It wasn't anything that groundbreaking, but I didn't really feel like it necessarily needed to be. Jonathan Hickman's whole X-Men era was such an important time for the X-Men in terms of just ingenuity and really coming up with something original. There was a lot different than anything we'd seen before. I don't necessarily think that Jed MacKay and all the other writers need to come out of the gates as strong. They can still build up ideas over time. And although it is kind of a familiar status quo for the X-Men, especially in this ongoing series, with them kind of being outliers in society again, they're living in Alaska. They have a home base where they operate from there. I still think it's an interesting team. I think Jed MacKay is good with team dynamics. He's good at writing these characters. I like that Juggernaut is part of the team. I think that's fun. Here's some of those backup pages with the Deadpool and Wolverine story. So, we'll see about this one. I'm not planning on picking up too many of the X-Men titles. I bought Uncanny X-Men also, but I haven't read it yet. So I'll have to go through that one. I've actually heard good things about that one. But that's X-Men #2. Next up, another team book, another big team book from Marvel. We've got Ultimates #3. This one has been pretty unexpectedly good in my opinion. The writer Dennis Camp, I'd never read anything by him before. It seemed like kind of a shot in the dark for Marvel to give him this ongoing series, since it's probably such a big seller for them, like all the Ultimate Universe stuff has been. I think it's the first thing he's written for them at Marvel, if not maybe the second or third or whatever. He just doesn't have too much experience like a lot of other writers. And I would have expected Jonathan Hickman to be the one writing this series, considering he kind of set up all the plot threads in Ultimate Invasion that kicked off the new Ultimate Universe that are being continued in here with these few heroes that were able to survive the makers rewriting of a normal Marvel universe to make there be no heroes and make there be these super powered like villains that take charge of the world. In Ultimate Invasion, we saw the Maker imprisoned, but it's still these heroes that are kind of oppressed by the world that have been like diminished throughout history. And now it's this team of Ultimates coming together and trying to bring back the heroes, trying to give them their powers that they're supposed to have all along. But it's just this different take on the Marvel Universe. It's definitely really interesting and a lot different than anything we saw in the original Ultimate Universe. So you can appreciate something original even if it is sharing some of the same names, right? So Ultimates has been good. Next up, I've got an issue of one of my favorite Marvel ongoing series. We've got Vengeance of Moon Knight. This is number 8. I think this is the second to last issue of this volume of Moon Knight, but the exact same creative team is going to be relaunching under the title Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu. In October, I think that's happening, so we have one more issue of this, and then we're transitioning into that new title. I'm not the biggest fan of relaunches. I don't think too many long-term readers are. I guess they do sell more, so it makes sense from that vantage point. I'm just happy that Jed MacKay and Alessandro Cappuccio are going to be continuing their run, no matter what title it's under. I have yet to actually finish all the Blood Hunt stuff. I know that this big Resurrection of Mark Spector thing that came out of that is very connected to Blood Hunt and like the main title and everything, which makes sense since it's Jed MacKay writing that also. But I'll be interested to see how they transition from that and continuing this series into relaunching and having Mark Spector back alive and being the star of his own title again. The artwork is not the main artist in this issue. It looks like it's actually a backup artist, so they're probably getting ready for Alessandro Cappuccio to be doing the first few issues of the new ongoing series when that launches. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this. Moon Knight has been consistently really good in my opinion. Last issue I picked up from Marvel Comics this week, though, was Miles Morales Spider-Man number 23. This one is also pretty connected to Blood Hunt while that was still happening. Miles became a vampire during that event. It looks like we're still dealing with the fallout of that in this series for the next couple issues, if not just this one. And his dynamic with Starling specifically, which I feel like we haven't had much of a focus on in a while in this series. With all the events that have been happening with tie-ins and you know, there's just been a lot going on in Miles' life and some big bombastic like climax stuff in the last couple story arcs for sure. So now it looks like we're getting maybe a little bit of a step back and just dealing with like relationship stuff with Starling, which is always interesting. I feel like she needs more of a focus as a character in the series because she was an original creation in Saladin Ahmed's run. And since then she's been a good cast member, but I guess not as much of a focus. So it's good to see her on the cover of an issue. This has artwork by the main series artist also. So, yeah, Miles, it's been pretty good. I mean, it's not like one of my favorite ongoing series, but I think Cody Ziegler has been doing just a good job like handling a big cast of characters, I guess, in this series and highlighting each character and making sure everyone has time to shine. Lastly, though, I bought Geiger number 5 from Image Comics. I'm also a little bit behind on this one. I definitely have some catching up to do on my reading in general. But this Ghost Machine stuff so far has been really good. Geiger, I think, is the stronger of the two unnamed universe titles that are coming out right now. I'm not the biggest fan of Redcoat so far, but Geiger itself is set in the far future after a post-apocalyptic like world, you know, nuclear war wiped out a lot of the world's population. It has to do with this radioactive man that traverses the wasteland, makes friends and enemies along the way, but he's kind of cold and disconnected from the rest of the world since his family died. That's the basic premise. That's pretty much all you need to know going into this. You can pick up this new volume without having read the original Geiger. It's pretty new reader friendly, I would say. We'll see. This is supposed to be ongoing. I really don't know what they can really do with a Geiger ongoing series besides just having him have another adventure in the wasteland every story arc or whatever. So hopefully there's also some ongoing plot threads that are, you know, continued throughout. We'll see about that one. That's Geiger number 5. But those were all the issues I picked up for New Comic Book Day this week. I want to know what you guys got, though. Let me know down in the comment section below which issues you're excited for this week. And like I said, do the collectionary incentive deal. You can get some free comics out of it. Just send a screenshot of your rating on the App Store, a screenshot of your homepage, and your shipping address. And yeah, try out Collectionary. That'll be the top link in the description, as well as the email that you should send those screenshots to. Really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.